Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into the always informative, always entertaining, the Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Mr. Luther Dupree Jr., Mr. Smoking Jim Frazier.
Looking like a thug over
and
here.
my
Oh,
name
my
is
God.
Claudio
Looking good,
Ralsano.
Jim.
Jim's covered. Somebody clocked him, I think, maybe in the eye. I don't know what happened. He looks good, though.
Jim got the dark sunglasses
Yesterday
on.
was
His
the Super
reading ones
Bowl.
on the other side.
He's got a bracelet on. He looks good,
Good
Luke.
good night at the casino for smoking
guess,
Jim,
I
boy.
guess.
Can I get a loan?
He'll say, leave me alone. All right. Before we get on with our show, we have a very special announcement. Two friends of the show, two guys we respect and admire and like very much. Phone call away every time. David Diaz was voted into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, which is a big-time boxing Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
And another big-time boxing Hall of Fame is the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. And if you look at the list of names on those Halls of Fame, big time. And that's Mr. Jerry Cooney. So we're very happy
Jerry,
that
the
both
man.
of them are in those Halls of Fame, and there's going to be more for them, so we congratulate two wonderful friends of the show.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, we're going to start off with a few guys. One guy who doesn't get the respect I think he deserves, and that's Mr. Charlie Burley.
yes.
And there's a lot of things that we mention him all the time on this show. And the other one's the Black Murderers Row. Luther started off.
Yeah, I want to talk about Charlie Burley. Around this area, a legend. He's done some great things, and it's a shame Sugar Ray Robinson avoided him like the plague. He said he didn't want to fight him, never got a shot at the heavyweight title, and it's unfortunate. You know, he was ahead of the game. The way he would just move just a little bit, he would knock guys out going backwards.
Watch him.
I mean, look at this.
Look at his footwork.
The footwork, and you know, kind of fights like him. No. When I say the Shakur Stevenson, just the way he has distance. He doesn't have to move too far. He just takes one step.
When you miss him, Luther, you miss him by an inch.
Exactly.
No wasted motion. Look at the bobbing and weaving.
Yes.
You never got a good hit on him.
Exactly.
They got the same calves.
Oh, you and these calves, Jim. Could the man fight? Look at that. Did you see that?
But Jim, look at him move, but he still had power at different angles.
Powers. Look at this. I mean, he's sitting on the ropes, then spins him, hits him to the ribs.
Which one is he?
The light-skinned one, the lighter one, Jim.
Hey, I don't blame them guys for not fighting him.
But it's just a shame, and I wanted to specifically highlight him. He was ahead of the game. He was one of the guys who never got a shot, who should have got a shot. Just like all of these guys at the Black Murderers Row, they fought each other 10, 11, 12 times over and over. Some of the best in the world could not. They had the black heavyweight title. And I want to bring it to today. I hate when people say they bring nothing to the table. You know, I've heard...
you mean financially?
Financially or otherwise. Bud Crawford, Jerron Boots Ennis is looking for a title shot. Oh, he brings nothing to the table. Canelo has said it. Oh, he brings nothing to the table. Tank Davis has said he brings nothing to the table. I hate it. It's a sport of boxing. And when I hear that, I think of all these guys who never got a shot. You know, David Benavidez needs to get a shot against Canelo. I hate it, and it brings me back. And I just wanted to show Charlie Burley how he was ahead of the game. And these fighters, listen, there was a time certain guys could never get a heavyweight fight. They could never get the big check. They could never roll around like a Sugar Ray Robinson
With the pink Cadillac.
with the big Cadillac and everything else. So I want these guys to remember that. It's the sport of boxing. It's prize fighting. Don't keep holding these guys out. If they earned the right, go ahead and fight them. David Benavidez needs to get a shot at Canelo. Boots Ennis needs to get a shot at Earl Spence or Bud Crawford. Make the fight happen. Otherwise, you're continuing this legacy of the 9 guys fights when they've earned it.
Luther, I agree with you 1,000% to Burley. And if you look at the people he fought, look at their weight classes.
Yeah.
He just didn't fight middles.
He fought heavyweights.
He fought anybody who would fight him. And
What's Boots Ennis got to do with the Black Murderers
No,
Row?
I'm just saying how.
he's used it as an example.
Listen, I'm saying how guys can keep fighting and fight and never get that big fight.
But he fought anybody and everybody.
Exactly.
Burley did. Now, I don't blame for Robinson for not fighting him. But my point is, if you're going to say you're the greatest, okay, well, then you have to look at their ledger. Who did he fight? Again, Duran, Hagler, Leonard, Hearns, those guys, and you say what you want, Muhammad fought everybody
Everyone.
and sometimes 2-3 times. So he could say that he was the great. He didn't
Exactly.
skip Foreman,
No.
who everybody thought he was going to kill him.
No.
He didn't skip Frazier.
You couldn't do it.
The second and third time. So Ali could say he was the great. Sugar Ray never said he was the Leonard never said he was the greatest. He didn't brag like that. But arguably the greatest fighter of all time. He fought everybody that he could. Sugar Ray Robinson, Burley's
No, he fought. There's a couple
Oh, he
guys
did
on that
too, I'm
Black
not saying he
Murderers
did.
Road that he didn't fight.
Right.
And that's disappointing.
It
Can you
is
really give him that
disappointing. And to
title?
Luther's credit about today's fighter, again, I know what you're going to say. You're going to have your turn in a second. Yeah, Canelo's this, that, another thing. I think Canelo's career is something that Luther always says, cherry pick.
Cherry
And
pick.
he's going to fight.
And he's moved.
He's
a
going to
certain
fight
way.
names. He's going to fight names. It
22
looks
world
good.
It's
champions.
belt
Luther,
holders and
he's going
world
to fight
champions.
champions that with good names. But he's
Exactly.
going to say that's just like Kansas City Chiefs who won yesterday playing Alabama. Alabama's a good name, but they're college. Fight people who you're supposed to fight. Then
Exactly.
come to me,
Exactly.
Jim.
Well, I tell you what, I think better when I got Versace from head to toe.
Oh, look at Jim. Oh.
An Italian maker,
I just
but go
want,
on.
I just want to say congratulations to Kansas City and Taylor Swift for winning her first Super
come on,
Bowl.
Jim.
Please
And
stop.
I want to
Start that.
thank Travis Kelce for inventing the fade haircut.
Oh,
hey,
God.
I just wanted to
Yeah,
know.
don't
I
start with
just
him.
wanted to know when we're going to get back on that arrogant guy from Dallas again. I like him. Can you work on that, Claudio?
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
we
okay.
get him back on.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him. Speaking of arrogance, to think that Charlie Burley could beat Sugar Ray Robinson is crazy.
Luther, I mean, Jim, I tell you what.
Hey, listen,
Sugar Ray
Charlie-
Robinson. I didn't say he could. I said
Oh,
he
I
had
do.
the
I
Can I
opportunity.
reclaim my
I do.
time? Can
I
I
do.
reclaim my time?
I do.
Hey,
Don't
say-
listen.
don't say
Can I
what you said.
reclaim my time? Hey, listen. Some things people might not know about Charlie Burley. Charlie Burley was cast to go to the 1936 Olympics, but people don't know his amateur trainer and his professional trainer was Jewish, Goldstein. And so Charlie Burley got into that anti-Nazi boycott, so he didn't go to Germany, but he ended up winning the world colored welterweight, the world colored middleweight world championship. You people were colored, didn't Lou? And I tell you what, Charlie Burley's first big fight, was against Fritzy Zivic,
Zivic, yeah.
the legend. And he
And I
fought Fritzy
appreciate
Zivic.
Fritzy
And
was
don't
a- was a
forget-
real one.
Don't
Fritzy was a-
forget,
He fought
Zivic-
everybody.
He fought everybody.
Don't forget, Zivic was a dirty fighter. He thumb you in the eye, hit you
And
back
what
in
did,
the
not to interrupt,
head.
what did Zivic say about Burley? And that quote, he says, "You can. If I didn't hit him square, nobody will." Is what Fritzy Zivic said.
Well, this other thing, people think they tampered with the scale because Charlie Burley never had trouble making weight. He was a pound over. And so what his Jewish trainer did for him, he would chew the gum and get all the sugar out and then give it to Charlie Burley. He ended up making it. Why don't they do
what-
this
you-
today?
was you a-
But just
was you a gum
couple-
chewer, Jim?
Listen, just a
Yes.
just a couple fighters in that era that Charlie Burley came. Of course, Sugar Ray Robinson, Gene Fulmer, Carlo Basilio, Joey Maxim,
Well,
you
yeah.
know, Jake
Randy
LaMotta,
Turpin.
Kid Gallowland, yeah, Randy Turpin, Henry Armstrong, who was champ, and
Evander Holyfield.
Don't forget, Charlie Burley lost the first time in the split decision to Fritzy Zivic, then beat him twice,
Yeah.
was ranked ahead of him, but Henry Armstrong, who was a black gentleman that was champion, ended up fighting Fritzy Zivic, and Zivic beat him, and then Zivic's manager ended up buying Charlie Burley's contract, so he couldn't fight Zivic for the championship.
Oh, wow.
That's another thing they used to
He's
do.
a
to
journalist,
you,
Luther.
That's another thing they used to do to you colors, Lou. And don't forget,
Come on, Jim.
don't forget your boy Sammy Angot.
Sammy Angot.
He was during that era. And don't forget, we already said Fritzy Zivic. He fought Ezra
Brett?
Charles to a very
Charles,
close
yeah.
decision. Ezra Charles ended up being heavyweight champ. Don't forget, when he fought Archie Moore, he knocked him down 3 times in 3 different rounds to win. And that's probably the greatest error for all those guys of all time.
So they all
right now,
so those guys were all on the same.
so
era,
right
is
now,
what you're saying,
hey, right now, there's 25 guys on this list. I probably could have put another 20. So when I say this is the greatest era of 30 heavyweights, you guys will
You're
be
off on
hypocrites.
that.
And you're
You
still
guys will
off
be
on that.
hypocrites if
You're
you
off
say
on
that
that.
means there's nobody that good.
And Jim,
And that's the end of
listen,
it.
Charlie Burley could beat anyone. His
Not
style,
Sugar Ray Robinson.
his style.
Oh, yeah,
well,
I
why
think
did
so.
Sugar
I
Ray
think so.
Robinson fight him?
think
He's
so.
on record saying, "I'm not fighting that guy."
There's not a ton
There's
of
a
footage
reason.
on him, but
There's only one footage. That's what
okay.
we see.
But look at him. He like Francis said, I could never hit him square.
Exactly.
And he could hit. And the
He
thing
could
that
knock
showed
you
me
out
about
going
him,
backwards.
right. That's what I was
Off
just
the
going to say.
back foot.
He go off the back foot in an angle and clip you. Charlie Burley was an unbelievable fighter, and he
matchup
started.
nightmare,
You,
Jim.
you know,
If Sugar Ray Robinson would have fought Charlie Burley, it'd have been a St. Day massacre.
Oh, I don't think
St.
so.
Valentine's
because
massacre.
Jake
too.
Jake LaMotta was there. I mean, yeah, he bobbed the weave, but Jake LaMotta was what? The Raging Bull. He come after you. So he was easier to hit. It was almost like Gaddy. If you missed LaMotta, it's because you tried. Okay. Charlie Burley was hard to hit.
We're not going to slander
Charlie
Charlie
Burley
Burley
only
on this.
lost in amateurs to one guy. One guy, and the guy beat him 7 times, a guy from Pittsburgh named Leo Sweeney. And Leo Sweeney had one of the best left hands of all time, but his left hand couldn't challenge Sugar Ray Robinson.
But-
Sweeney beat him 7
also-
We're not
the
doing
only
the triangle
amateur,
theory,
listen,
Jim.
the
We're not doing
only
the triangle
amateur to
theory.
beat him, and you know what Sweeney ended up being? Well, being that he was Irish, a cop. One of the great cops of our era. But, hey, they said Sweeney had maybe one of the best left hands of any amateur of all time. And that's what beat Charlie. The only
When
thing that could beat Charlie Burley was a good jab, and Sugar Ray Robinson had that.
When Charlie
he didn't fight
Burley
him.
was in his prime,
Sweeney!
he knows we don't because we weren't born then. But how many
Jim was
fighters?
chewing gum and
How
giving it
many
to fighters.
fighters moved like Charlie Burley?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Sugar Ray Robinson, yes, because Ali said he tried to copy. But like
Coco good.
Who?
Coco.
Who's that? But you know what I'm saying?
Coco Kid, the Coco
There
Kid.
weren't many fighters
Right.
that moved
He
like
was-
him.
exactly.
And
He had
Oh, you
Turpin,
guys-
he had-
Turpin did.
A lot of
Turpin
guys
moved
could
well.
move like
Not
that.
back then.
Yes,
Back
but
then.
there were better fighters back then than
Did
there
Jack-
are today. What do you
Why
mean?
was he
I'm
so
not-
They were
avoided,
tougher.
Jim?
They were tough.
Why was
They
he
were
so
bad.
avoided?
Wait.
Why was he? We're not going
Luther,
to.
what did they used to do? I mean, you know, just like in all sports, I don't want to get into a baseball thing. Baseball and hockey are the only physical things that haven't changed. Basketball changed, set shot. Field goal used to be straight. Now they do the soccer.
Yeah.
In boxing, remember this garbage?
Yeah, this-
They wasn't like that.
Yeah, they
Charlie
did.
Burley.
They
Not-
were.
not the 50s and
Not Charlie
60s.
Burley, but they were more stationary.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
weren't moving
in
like him.
1919.
And that's
Name
why
me a
guys tried to
heavyweight.
fight him.
Joe Louis was arguably the greatest of all time. But did he move much?
He didn't have to.
Well, against Marciano, he should have. Okay, but what I'm
He was-
saying,
he was 70 years
All right,
old. Come on.
73.
He was
But
74
Muhammad,
years old when he
what was the
fought.
thing about Muhammad in the Olympics, man?
Yeah.
Come on, I mean,
He
no
was
no
moving
heavyweight
like
ever
that.
moved like
Exactly.
that.
Right.
What I'm saying,
Well,
Burley.
today there's nobody that moves like that. Muhammad.
No, that's why I don't want to hear about Tyson Fury
Right.
moving like Muhammad
Oh, he
Ali.
beat-
No, I don't want to hear
we're
about
not-
that.
we're not
That's
going-
that's a different ballgame.
would've beat
Now,
Muhammad
Luther, what I'm
Ali.
trying to say is, Charlie, when you spar, go try to find somebody like Charlie Burley.
Right.
When Robinson, you kidding, Jim? Who moved like that?
Almost every black
Not back
fighter.
then.
Do you know the biggest
Jack
thing-
Johnson
You know
was-
You know what most black fighters did
What?
for their part-time job? They were tap dancers. You ever see a tap dancer?
But they
Sugar
didn't-
Ray
they
Robinson.
weren't in the
Sugar
ring,
Ray
they
Robinson
weren't
was the
moving
best
like
tap
that.
dancer in
Jack,
Harlem.
you were at the Johnson Tommy
Woo,
Burns
You got
fight.
some taps on your shoes.
Jim was at the Jack Johnson Tommy
Right.
Burns fight. Did Jack Johnson move?
That was 1919.
These
Okay,
guys
but-
weren't
okay, who
moving like
moved?
Charlie Burley.
1910.
Besides
We're
Sugar
not
Ray
going to-
Robinson. Besides Sugar Ray Robinson. And Turpin a little bit. Who else moved?
Every Negro back then.
All right. Well,
All right. Anyway.
Jim, just because you're dressed like
You
Stevie
understand what
Wonder
I'm saying.
doesn't mean that you gotta act like you never saw these guys. These guys were not moving
Yes.
like a Charlie
No,
Burley.
no,
Light on
no.
the feet
Just
with all
as good,
that.
if not better.
Let me put it this way to end it now. Okay, if you had a basketball player in the 40s going like this, people say, what the hell is he doing, right or wrong?
right.
But if you put Charlie Burley in 2024, nobody would blink an eye.
Right.
Because he fits
He
in.
was so far
He
ahead
would
of
be
his
champ.
time. That's why
he
people
would
want to
be
fight
champ
him.
today.
Right.
But
I
he
believe
couldn't
it.
be champ back then.
Oh, I think you understand what I'm trying to say.
I think
There's
I
no
like his
Sugar
change
Ray
for Sugar Ray
Robinson
Robinson.
today.
Robinson
There's no
was
Sugar
beaten
Ray
before,
Robinson
and he
today.
could have
Yes.
beaten him.
You
could've
Charlie
beat who?
Luther.
Sugar Ray
You understand
Robinson.
what
You
I'm
act
trying
like
to-
he was undefeated. He
No,
had
he lost
losses
a lot
on
of
his
fights.
records.
Right. You
And
understand
that
what I'm
Charlie
trying to say?
Burley would have beaten him at
You
least one
understand
of
what I'm
the
trying to
times they
say?
fought.
Physically, Burley would not open your eyes. So, man, look how different he is.
Right.
He did it back then. He was ahead of his time.
was ahead of his
Just like
time,
Muhammad
Joe.
was ahead of his time with
Well,
the
Charlie Burley
dancing.
was one of the 65 to beat Fritzy Zivic. I give you that.
Zivic
Fritzy
fought everybody.
Fritzy fought everybody.
He fought
Let's
everybody.
not compare Fritzy Zivic to Sugar Ray Robinson. Please.
But you, but
He's
see,
the guy who fought everyone.
I think he could have
tend-
beat Kid Gavilan.
but okay, but see, you talk
Burley
about
could have beat a lot.
Gavilan, and you talk about all those guys. You look at their careers.
Sugar Ray
towards the
Robinson was the
end.
greatest of all time.
Okay, fine.
And he has quite a few losses on his record.
Right, but
And
you.
none of them Charlie Burley.
Because he didn't fight Charlie
him.
Burley.
But you back to
Charlie
Muhammad.
wanted to fight him. They were on cards together.
If he'd have
Right.
fought
and he
Charlie
said,
Burley,
and he,
Right,
wa- and
right,
he watched him
right,
and said,
right.
"Don't put me in the ring with
if
that."
he'd have
They were
fought-
on cards together,
if he'd have
Jim.
fought Charlie Burley would not be in the Hall of Fame today.
Oh, I disagree.
stop.
I
Stop.
disagree. Now, real quick.
Maybe the Atlantic City.
Okay. Anyway, I think, see, the problem with you, Jim, is you grade these guys their last 3 or 4 fights in their career.
Exactly.
I'm a boxing historian.
Yeah,
That's
but
my
Fritzy
problem.
Zivic lost towards the end.
Towards the end, all the like Evander,
Muhammad
he
lost
got all
towards
those
the
My
end.
lost to the end.
problem is I
Ali
studied
lost to the
these
end.
guys. Did you guys know about the Berlin? Did you guys know he had a Jewish trainer? Did you
Did
know,
you know that he wasn't
chewed
allowed in the
gum?
Philippines?
Did you
Jim.
know he chewed the sugar out the gum? and then gave
Jim,
it
a
to
lot of
Charlie?
boxers had Jewish trainers. He acts like that's
Graziano
a
did.
lot of guys had
Gold-
some
Marciano
Jewish trainers.
Who else had?
Marciano
You're gonna say he's the
Graziano.
only one?
You mean the landlord or the trainer?
Rocky Balboa did. Mickey was Jewish.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. But they didn't know Mickey until he died.
I know they
right?
put on his film, Goldstein, yeah. All right, when we come back, to us, a friend of the show, we're not being biased, but a very, very controversial decision between Jermaine Ortiz and Teofimo Lopez. If it was Charlie Burley, they wouldn't have given him the decision either.
No.
We'll be right back with the Boxing Authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. A big fight that happened this weekend in Las Vegas, and I don't mean between Kelsey and Andy Reid because there was no fight there. It was one shove, and that was
Oh,
it. Don't
come
get
on.
me started
Leave
on that.
Kelsey alone,
Don't
man.
get me started on that.
Three-time
I'll just-
champion.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all, but that's another
They should
story.
have showed that on camera.
Yeah. All right. Teofimo Lopez retains the WBO junior welterweight title with a unanimous decision
Robbery.
against Jermaine Ortiz. That's the first thing Luther said. Robbery. Luther, go ahead.
Listen, once again, top-ranked Bob Arum. They saved Teofimo Lopez. I had him losing to Sandor Martin a couple fights ago. He got dropped twice in that fight. Now, Jermaine Ortiz, he was on the move. Teo doesn't do well against boxers and movers. And people said he was running. No, he's in there fighting.
That's right.
And he was landing more. Teo was off balance. He couldn't land a solid shot. And
Good point with the solid shot, Luther.
People nowadays, think you have to knock someone down. He's crying because he knows he should not have won that fight. He knows he got a gift decision, and that was one of the most insane post-game conferences that Teo was talking about. 1 minute he's talking about, he's throwing racial slander, and then he's talking about I love God, and he's all over the place. Listen, the guy has talent, but it's obvious he can't handle a mover. Anybody who doesn't stand in front of him is going to
What do
give
you
him
always say?
trouble.
He has a hole in his swing.
Oh, he has a whole
There you
lot of
go.
holes in the swing. And since he's moved up to 140, his power did not transfer. At 135, he would hit these guys one shot and they'd be down. At 140, I think he's food for a lot of these guys. I think Devin Haney schools him. I think Ryan Garcia even beats him. He doesn't want to fight Sabre Matias. I think Matisse.
Matisse.
I think he beats him. I think
You think Matisse beats him?
I think
Yeah.
Matisse beats him. I don't think Teo's very good at 140. He's getting exposed a lot. For
You
not
think
being able to
Ortiz
box.
gave a playbook on how to beat Lopez?
Well, Sandor Martin gave the playbook.
Yeah,
and Ortiz does build on that playbook. He cannot handle a mover. I think he's a very overrated. fighter. People like Jim continue to put him in their top 10, but he doesn't deserve to be there. He should have at least 3 losses on his record. Very disappointed with this decision. Another black eye for boxing. We can't have
117,
that.
111.
That card was filled out before the fight happened. That judge who did that, he did the same thing in the in the Jermaine Ortiz Loma fight. Yeah. He had the same exact score, 117, 111 for Loma. He did the same thing. I think he had it written out before the fight even happened.
Mr. Frazier?
Well, again, Boots Enos proved it, and now Theo proved it. These guys don't know how to cut the ring off. It's a very simple thing.
His guy was engaged.
You got to give Ortiz credit for that, though.
Here's what I give him credit for. I give him credit, but the judges don't know how to score when a guy moves like a Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard or Charlie Burley or something like that. And guys
Burley didn't move like that.
Those guys did that all the time back then. Listen, of all the fighters, here's where Lopez arrogance got in the way. Again, I think he can't get up for. I only think he can get up for his big fights. But here's where he blew and here's where he lost. Of all the fighters that I had going into main event fights or any type of fights, you always had a spy in their training. There's no way somebody should be able to come and surprise you by going softball from the first round on. That confused him. Listen, you got sparring partners in there. You got the media in there. Somebody got to be on your payroll to tell you that Ortiz is going to come in fighting softball. That's all he trained. You train like that you're going to fight. He's never fought like that. That was great on Jimmy Burchfield in the training. And I thought that he confused Lopez because he had no idea that he was fighting a softball that night.
Jim,
and he put it on him.
I don't think it's too hard to confuse Teofimo.
But he didn't have a spy in there. He was confused, Lou. Everybody got a spy
and this corner, you always pay attention to the corner.
Still got confused.
Yeah, I did want to ask you this before I give my opinion of the fight, because I thought about you and I didn't send you a text about it. What did you hear in Teo's corner that helped him make adjustments?
Well, I told you about his corner. His dad really doesn't give him, hey, get this guy out of there.
Yeah, what the hell?
What are you doing, Tio?
Yeah, what are you doing?
You know, he doesn't get a lot of help, and I've said it before, I think he needs to bring someone else in. Bill Haney brought somebody else into the camp to give another pair of eyes.
At least tell me
and
something.
I think
You're my
Lopez
coach.
Bill Haney brought in his parole officer.
Oh, come on.
Luther, I'm in a little bit of trouble here. I'm not hitting him. Help me out. You're my coach.
Yeah, I don't need a motivational speaker.
I don't need to go get him. Hell, I know that.
I don't need T.D. Jakes in the corner.
I thought, again, we say it all the time, and you know that Caring guy ran. That was a runner.
Jermaine Ortiz would engage.
He engaged and he moved. How about when you know what I liked right away when Tio told him to come into the corner? What did Jermaine do? He went in the corner and he was banging. A lot of times guys won't do that. When they tell him to come in the corner, those guys don't do it. Jermaine went in there and banged him. Okay, and we talked about Burley not getting hit. How many times did Jermaine get squared?
No, I didn't see hardly any.
He moved.
You know what? That dirty
the headbutt.
You know,
the headbutt.
Illegal accident
but
or whatever.
Like you said, that guy cleaned that up really good.
Oh, yeah.
He did a hell of a
Great
job.
His cut
I
did
thought
an
that was
excellent job.
crazy. Jim said something too that again, say what you want about Jim, but he was right. He made a good point about judges don't know how to judge a mover, a mover.
Is it they don't know how or they're not paid to? I don't know. Which one is it? I don't know.
And there's different definitions of move. Mayweather and/or Burley moved more than you give him credit. But Mayweather wasn't a dancer, but Mayweather did this. Shakur did this. They moved just enough, okay? And then you have an Ali, a Leonard, who are beautiful fighters, okay? Beautiful
Great
feet.
Great feet.
Buster Douglas, great feet.
Oh, here you had this
Which
crowbar,
February 11th,
man.
1990, Buster Douglas
Had the
but anyway,
crowbar in. I knew
crazy.
you would find a way to
You know I gotta
crowbar
do
it in
that.
every show.
But it was, Luther keeps saying it, black eye. Come on, that's terrible. And it's one thing to have a non-televised fight, but it's right there. And I think Ray Mancini one time says, who wins a fight. Mm-hmm. It isn't like, it's like a baseball, football, basketball game. Look at the scoreboard, okay? You know who won. It's not as subjective
Like when
as
Joe
people.
Lewis left the ring, tried to leave the ring.
There you
because
go,
loved
Jim.
Jersey Joe
He
beat him,
walked
but
out,
but he
and
got
his
the
corner said,
decision.
"Get back!" Exact.
Yeah.
Great point. He knew he lost. This is Joe Lewis for the heavyweight championship. He was upset. He knew he lost, and he walked out because he was mad at himself, and his trainers had to grab him and bring him back in. And Luther, he's joking, but he's not joking. When Luther, I
Joe
mean,
Lewis's trainer said, "My boy didn't have a good night."
but Luther was joking, but he wasn't. Tio was crying. He was shit. I was going to lose this fight.
Yeah.
And
Sander Morton had him question himself.
Was
Now
it
he's
you that sent
questioning.
a
But
text?
did you see? Do you agree with me? He fooled him with that softball. I mean, that was great strategy.
Right, you're right.
So he fooled him for 12 rounds.
Right. No. Jim's right. Chuck Knox used to say
12 rounds.
during
Okay, maybe
practice,
the
Jim-
first round he threw that. But after a while, he's
No,
the softball's
that's a good
fast.
point too. Though.
Come on,
Chuck
Jim.
Knox, you're a football
How many
guy.
times you gonna get
Chuck
fooled?
Knox used to say, "Our team is prepared for everything,
Yeah.
ready for anything."
I like that.
Okay, prepared for anything, ready for anything.
That's why I put spies in camps.
Well, but to Luther's point, though, and he bangs on it all the time on all these other fighters. What's he talking about? When we get mailbag, what do they talk about? Luther, what do you think about trainers? Tell me something. You know, I'm the coach. You're the coach, Dad. Tell me, should I cut him off? What should I do? Now, I did like Tio saying, come in the corner, and he wasn't engaged, and Jermaine did. But I think that he didn't cut off the ring.
Yeah, we have not seen much improvement at all from Teofimo Lopez. If
And-
you think
no,
about it,
no,
he's
that's another
gotten
good
worse
point.
and worse.
And another-
Sander Martin, Jermaine Ortiz, he's
Right.
not getting better.
And we always use analogies.
And he's
Dan-
calling out Bud Crawford.
Oh, no, don't do that. When Dan Campbell for the Lions, that was an emotional decision. I know in my book, Lead from the Heart Up, Not the Neck Up, How to Create a Positive Winning Culture and Fill in the Office, which you can get on my website, ClaudioRelsano.com. I mentioned a game that I blew a game as a head coach. We made this big comeback, and I messed up, long story short, because I got emotional. Now, I'm very emotional when I coach, but you also have to keep your head about you, okay? I didn't. I messed up. We lost. I learned from it. Never happened again. I think, Tio, you have to be, Benny Paz fought with emotion. All those guys fought with emotion. Mike Tyson fought with emotion. But they still kept their head in the game. I think Tio doesn't.
Yeah,
Do you agree with that?
I think it's easy to frustrate Tio. Yeah, and
Okay,
Jermaine
okay,
Ortiz said that. He
okay.
said we're going to frustrate him.
And he did.
And he fought frustrated the whole 12
That's a great
rounds.
line, yep.
And, Tio keeps getting saved by top rank. It's just a matter of time before he really
You
gets
called
exposed.
that. Now, next for Tio. And please don't tell me Bud Crawford.
He's calling Bud.
Yeah, but that's just for money
Keyshawn
making.
Davis
Okay.
is calling him out. I'd like for him to try to unify. I'd like
good
for him
with
to try
that.
to unify. There's a couple champions out there. I'd like to see. There's certain fighters they want to move them. I don't think they want to have them with a mover, a boxer. They want to have somebody like a Josh Taylor that's going to stand in front of
there.
them.
Who would he unify with?
Well, Devin Haney has a belt, and he has a fight coming up with Ryan
ain't gonna
Garcia. Matias has a belt as well. But I would like to see Gary Antoine Russell and Teofimo
always-
Lopez.
yeah.
I would like to see that.
What do you like?
happen. I would take Gary Antoine Russell over Tio. I'm not impressed with him at 140. I think I see a lot of holes,
Not the
and his
big
power
punch
is not
holes,
there. His
and-
power's gone. I mean,
yeah.
that was the one thing that separated him at
Now,
135.
who did he beat at 140 to win the championship?
Josh Taylor. He took Josh
He's
Taylor's
not your
belt.
top 10 anymore, right? Josh Taylor.
Josh Taylor hasn't been in my top 10 in
No, I'm
years.
just wondering.
Luther
I'm
got
just
rid of him a
wondering.
long time
Yeah,
ago,
I'm
boy.
just wondering.
Listen.
That's who I want him to fight again.
Listen,
Give Taylor another
what you gotta
shot.
understand, I told you, some of these guys stay in these weight divisions too long. Josh Taylor fought weight drained. It's just, it was too long.
If his trainer would have chewed the sugar out the gum,
All right, another fight on that card. And again, we thought, all three of us thought Jermaine won, and it was a terrible. Real quick, next for Jermaine.
Man, Jermaine, he's got some very bad decisions, man. He needs a victory bad. 140. I mean, his name is hot right now.
But would you agree, Luther, if he had gotten busted up, I don't know who it was that lost a fight, and you said, man, he's going to get all kind of fights now. Because he looks good, maybe they might stay away from him.
No, I think he'll get some fights because,
Okay.
yes, he's a boxer, but he's not sitting down on his punches as much. I think he'll get some. I think he'll get another one. He's fought on a couple top ranked cards. maybe it's going to be a Keyshawn Davis if he moves up.
Does he get more respect after 2 losses than a lot of guys do
I
after
think
wins?
so because they were so close. Loma and a lot of people thought he beat Teofimo.
Here's Jermaine Ortiz's future. Got to be Hollywood and the actor. I mean, the good-looking guy. Listen, if Stephen
Jimmy said
A.
smart
If
guy.
Stephen A's a sex symbol on with that forehead on soap operas, that'll hire Jermaine right now
Well,
to
Jimmy
take
said
his
he's
spot.
a very
Or is
well-versed
his
young
lips
man.
okay?
and he
Jim.
speaks well.
Couple languages.
Yeah, he speaks well.
Yeah.
Jim is always, we're talking boxing.
The only
Jim,
problem-
Jim always talks about
I'm just saying,
modeling.
make
Wait a
this
minute,
guy
wait a
go
minute,
to
wait a minute.
Hollywood.
Listen,
He's
the only
too
thing,
young to
Luther,
move.
the only thing that he's got to worry about are those calves. If he improves the calves. All right. Keyshawn Davis.
Yes.
I was a little bit worried. Like Jim said, I was worried about him. I was a little bit worried because Pedrosa's a veteran. And I thought maybe he could pull some tricks because boxing is chess. It's not going out there and clunk a guy, right? But Keyshawn Davis looked great.
Oh,
Luther?
Keyshawn Davis, man. I was so impressed with him. Pedraza's been around. He's a veteran. He's lost to a lot of top competitors, but Keyshawn stayed busy. He was focused. He was working the body, went to the head. It
was a blowout, Luther.
Yeah, it was a blowout. His guard was sharp. All the tricks that Pedraza would use couldn't work with him. I loved his everything,
Right, good
man.
point. All the tricks he used
One
did not
thing
work.
he also said, he trained better than ever. He got off the weed, as Smoking Jim said. He gave his mom flowers after the fight for being with him. And he said, he's no longer smoking weed, and he thinks that
More
helped him.
disciplined.
More disciplined. And he said he's the best at 135. He fought like it today. The power was there, the speed. Pedraza didn't have anything for him. Pedraza probably needs to lay it down at this point. But I was very impressed with Keyshawn Davis. Great speed, great power, great use of the body. I think he's ready for bigger and better things, man. You fought Pedraza now. I'd like him to get some of those title shots with
You
the
think
bigger
he's-
guys.
If you were his management team, would you put him in for a major title?
I would. I know after the fight he called for Teofimo Lopez. After the fight, he's screaming at Lopez.
They
I'd
got
like
into
to see
it,
that
yeah.
fight. I'd like to see that fight.
Now, I always, not marinate, but I like there's a time and a place for everything. I'm good with Keyshawn going after a major title. The thing
Thank
I like
you. We
about
finally
him,
agree.
The thing I like
Yes.
about him is, and Luther mentioned it too, he went to the body, but he goes in different angles.
Right.
You don't know where the punch is coming. One time again, Roberto Duran, when he fought Vinny Paz, he said he doesn't fight, what's that term? Orthodox. Right.
Yeah.
Vinny would go this way and hit you with a right. Vinny would go back, hit you with a jab. Keyshawn Davis, different angles, and he hit different parts of he hit him on the hip, hit him in the rib, hit him in the shoulder.
And I have to give Bomac credit, man. He's bringing layers and layers of Keyshawn Davis out. He's looking better and better, and it's time for him to get those bigger fights.
I'm ready for that. I'm with you.
Even if Frank Martin, I know they went at it on Twitter before. I'd like to see
I
that
would-
fight.
If he fought Frank Martin, I'm going with Keyshawn.
Wow.
As long as he's
That's
focused.
a 50-50 fight right there, man. But I might go with Frank Martin. I just think Frank Martin has a little more experience at this point, and I think he might be able to get him. But it's a great fight. It's
Experience,
50-50.
yes, but the thing that impressed me about Keyshawn is he different angles. And Pedroza's a veteran who, like you said, tried some different tricks.
Yeah.
And Keyshawn did
Keyshawn
what he did.
looked great.
We don't need to talk to Jim anymore the rest of the show. Okay, now WBC. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Keyshawn Puff Pass Davis. Hey, listen.
He's clean.
This
He's
guy,
done.
This guy.
He's done.
Listen. Anytime you got to have your mom near to every day of your training just so you don't get high. This guy, she wouldn't even let him drink herbal tea. Hey, listen. After the fight, he probably
How about
went,
chew gum?
Hey, yeah.
Chew
After the
gum.
fight, he probably went to Snoop Dogg's after party. So he sounded like he was high right after the fight. I mean, he's screaming and yelling at these guys. Hey, listen, I've seen average fighters before. Keyshawn is about as average as I
You
ever
serious?
seen. I think his future is a hype man for some of these rappers he come out with. This guy,
They weren't good. They
listen,
weren't good.
This guy better make as much money. I agree with you guys. If I'm his trainer, if I'm his manager, I'm pushing him to the money as fast as I can because this is a very average
Why is
average
he
fighter.
average? Tell me
He
why is
is.
Quick hands. He got some pop,
First of
Jim.
all, he fought a guy that looked like Muhammad Ali in '79. I mean, this guy came in washed up, and you know it. I mean, but
He's a
hey,
veteran.
hey, listen,
Right.
this guy.
It's a step-up fight.
Listen,
Jim.
this guy does not do anything to impress me. I'm telling you, and I've told you guys
said
before
it.
about these average fighters. This is
But
a
you told
very
us about
average
Ryan
fighter.
Garcia, too.
He's gonna
Roger,
be exposed
Torres.
if he gets
Torres,
stepped up.
Richard Torres.
Yeah, Richard Torres is number 3 all time or
Yeah,
whatever.
he's great.
You didn't like the
Nothing.
different body
Nothing.
shots he hit.
I
him
didn't
with.
like nothing about him or his hairstyle.
Anybody with
Hey,
locks or anything, Jim
hey,
hates
listen.
him.
If I'm his trainer, the first thing I'm telling him is he
get a
got to get his
haircut.
hair cut like Lou,
come on.
because they can get the roots of your hair and find that marijuana in there. Hey, listen,
Why
he
did
should
you
have
put a
been
do-rag
stripped.
on like you,
He
Jim?
should have been stripped.
Hey, stupid question.
Listen, if you test
Right, that's what I was
positive in
gonna
a
ask.
win,
Right.
it's not a no contest. I'm stripping you.
Now, let me ask you a question. 'Cause for some reason, I think you might know. How long does marijuana stay in your system?
In your
Not that
hair,
you ever- I know
in
you
your
don't take
hair,
it.
it's 60 days. In your hair, it's 60 days.
Okay, but I'm talking about in the bloodstream.
In the blood, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
When did he quit?
I don't know. Well, he tested. He's going to test clean for this fight, so that's a start. He's not getting stripped.
If they don't test him after the after party.
Oh, come on, Jim. Give the man some credit.
Okay, he wasn't wide with his punches. He was short and quick. He moved wide. Yes, I understand Petroza wasn't.
You think he's great?
I didn't say great. I
You
think
already
he's,
said
he's
the
young.
Ghost can't.
He's
You
only
already
se-
said he can't beat the Ghost, and the Ghost is about as average you
Who?
can get. The Ghost. Martin.
No, he said he has him against the Ghost. He said he would beat Ghost.
You think he could beat the Ghost?
I like him.
Wow, two average
like
guys going at it.
Maybe
yeah.
like West going golfing. Somebody's got to
Yeah,
win.
How are they average?
In my opinion.
I'm saying how
What
are they
is he-
average?
where is his holes?
I didn't see many. I
Now,
didn't see
can he
many. Now,
improve? Yes.
yeah.
Like you said perfectly.
No, he
what?
doesn't have
Layers.
he doesn't have the one
What
punch
does he
knockout
do?
power.
What does he
but
do
has
better?
good power.
What does
He's
he
not
do
the
better
fastest.
than anybody in boxing? Nothing.
You don't have to.
So now,
But he does a whole lot.
that's how you start getting
No,
rated down
no,
to average.
no, that's
when
not
you
true.
do nothing better
No.
than nobody
Okay,
else,
here's-
No.
you start going
Jim,
down. That's the
Jim, does he have
definition.
good- No.
of-
Listen, Jim. That's not
Average.
true.
No, that's the definition of
not
average.
everybody's going to have the biggest punch
He
or
doesn't.
the quickest hands,
And he
but he has
doesn't.
good power. He
And
has good power at
boom,
135.
Okay.
How that you're coming down to average?
I
No,
didn't
he's
say
not.
average. He has
Maybe
good
he
power.
doesn't.
Most people are average.
He's
and he's most people.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Jim, here's what I think. He might not be number one this, number one that, number one that. No, but he might be number 2 here, number 3 here, number 1 here.
Exactly.
He's not
That's
average.
not average. Average is when you're not in the top 10 in any of it.
Well,
Right.
you
know?
guys keep talking. I'm gonna put him
Hey,
below
you know
average.
who might be
Everything-
average? Garcia might be average.
Yeah.
What the
Come
hell is
on,
he
Gar-
got?
Garbage
Torres
he
might
got the
be
fastest
average.
hands
Oh,
in boxing.
who?
Garcia got the fastest hands in boxing. Whose hands is faster than Garcia's?
We're not.
There you go.
What-
There you go.
what hit the
I
punch?
love you, Claudio.
Well, they didn't look fast to Tank. Tank
Well,
Tank
it
was
might have
ducking
just-
all
I'll tell you
over.
what. I'll tell you who's got quick
Luke
hands.
Campbell said they aren't fast when he dropped them.
I know what you're gonna say.
OPP. Listen, whoever Jim took that bracelet from, Jim has quicker hands than them, boy. You don't think he's championship material right now?
Who? Is ESPN still got a belt?
They
He
used
has,
to, remember that?
he has 2 minor belts
do
right
do
now.
they still have a world-colored belt championship?
All right, we're gonna upset Luther now. Remember, we have a segment, Upset Luther. Number 1, WBO. Number 2, WBC super middleweight contender Jaime Munguia stops Luther's favorite fighter, John Ryder, who is now retired. He said he has 32, 7, 18
He retired 2
knockouts.
fights ago.
Discuss fight. And to your credit, you did say once Munguia wins this, he was going to fight who?
Canelo.
He deserves
Canelo. He does not deserve it. He's fought absolutely
He's 40.
no one.
Luther, he's 43.
And you can't name anybody with a winning record on his resume. Come on, man. These guys all have 6,
And he
7
ducked
losses.
Charlie Burley, too.
Listen, man. As we look at these
You
highlights,
don't like him at all?
Munguia, I mean, he has so many openings, man. He leaves himself wide open. You know, once he fights a better fighter, he's going to
Oh,
get caught.
Ryder,
Look,
you
John
gotta
Ryder
quit,
had
brother.
nothing. Look,
You
he's
gotta
just
go.
sitting there catching, man. He was retired after Canelo. Look at this, leaving himself open.
Nah, you got to go, brother.
He does have power, but I question his chin. I question his stamina. I think David Benavidez. Some of these guys will make easy work of him.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick. Who does Munguia have a better chance to beat?
Canelo.
Canelo or Benavidez?
Canelo. Because Canelo's a little long on the tooth.
I'm with you.
Benavidez,
Got that pop.
has that pop.
Or Morrell.
And he's younger. Oh, David Morrell would destroy Munguia. Because he leaves himself open. It's not hard to hit Munguia. He's right in front of you. He's not defensively responsible. And, this was an easy fight. I
no
wasn't
doubt.
surprised
It
at
looks
all.
good on your record.
Yeah, it looks good, but John Ryder is finished. I can't believe Canelo didn't finish him. That's my thing. But nice win for Munguia. He may get the Canelo fight and get a nice paycheck, but he's not beating Canelo. Way too many holes.
Jim.
Munguia is the modern day Charlie Burley. He's earned the right. He's earned the right for a world
God.
championship
Stop, Jim.
and can't get it. I'm happy. I mean, we want guys who want.
He's fought no one.
He's fought. He got a great record.
Who'd he beat in
and
the top
He got
10?
a beautiful knockout record. And I tell you what, he's deserving of a title.
Who did
If David Benavidez won't fight him, and all these guys, David Morrell won't fight him.
David
I'm
Morrell will
glad that-
definitely fight him. What are you
hope
talking
that-
about?
I hope that Canelo steps up and fights this young
Did
man
Benavidez and Morrell
because
turn him down?
he's a modern day Charlie Burley that deserved it.
Jim made up something again. Nobody turned him down, Jim.
I'm just saying
Stop.
he can't get a shot.
And Luther's been
He's
hot,
fu-
not just with predictions, but he's been saying
Yeah.
who's going to be fighting.
Jim,
And he said,
I mean, with that record, don't you think he's deserving?
I'm
of a
okay
shot?
with him getting a
Thank
title
you,
shot.
Thank you,
But
Claudio.
to Luther's
See, on this
credit,
side of the
but he has not fought.
Anyone in the top 10?
Yeah,
Come
he is
on,
not.
Jim.
But I'm
I mean,
okay with because of the record.
The
Now, real
John
quick,
Riders was in the top
No, he
10.
wasn't in the top 10.
Now, something
The
Luther
man
wanted
has
to put
7
up.
losses.
Luther, I messed up because I do have it written down here. It looks like Devin. No, they are going to fight April 20th. Devin Haney,
Yeah.
WBC champ. So queued up, Doug. My fault. Will fight Ryan Garcia. Interesting fight
I
because
think
of
it's
the
a
name.
great fight. They fought in the amateurs. Supposedly, Devin won 3, Ryan won 3. They're already pushing it. They saw each other in the mall. They went and kind of got into it. Oh, here it is. He walks up with Ryan Garcia with the leather coat like he's in a mafia or something. I forget what movie that is. Devin Haney has his number 10 hoodie on, the way Jim loves it, I'm sure. But I think it's going to be a great fight. Ryan Garcia, he's
For how long is it going to be a great fight?
I think it can go to distance. I think Haney's going to school him. He has to watch out for the left hook. Ryan Garcia has been showing more improvement since he's been under the tutelage, the trainer, Derek James. I didn't like his little, Philly shell that he was doing the last fight. He doesn't want to try that against Devin Haney, but I think this is going to be a very interesting fight. I have Devin Haney right now with a unanimous decision.
Yes or okay? Yes or no? Answer, and I'll get to you. Kind of need what to. Is Ryan Garcia just a front runner? If he's behind a little bit,
I think so. I think, but he has that left hook that's always an issue. It comes fast, it comes hard. But I want to see how much heart he has. He didn't show me
That's what I'm
much
saying.
when he took that knee
That's
against
what I'm
Tank.
saying.
He did show me something when he took that left hook and got up. But we've seen Ryan Garcia on the floor, on the canvas 3 times so far. Devin Haney hasn't hit the canvas yet. I think it'll be a great fight, but I think he's going to get schooled by Devin Haney. Devin Haney, since the amateurs, has improved so
no
much.
doubt. Smoking.
Ryan Garcia still has some of the same holes I see, though.
Well, Lomo beat the snot out of him, but didn't get the decision.
Oh,
So
Jim,
for some
stop.
guys, can you knock Haney out? Maybe that's the only way to get the decision against Haney because Lomo beat the
No,
snot
he
out
did
of
not.
him
He
and
did
didn't get
not,
the decision.
Jim.
People call that a robbery.
Lomo gets every
Listen,
decision.
Devin Haney or Devin X is a cussing Muslim. I mean, everywhere he's going, he's throwing out, cuss words here and there. You know
You're
what
the
I mean?
vocabulary police over there.
All out to wash his mouth out with soap. But listen, I think that Garcia is the better fighter. Garcia got a yellow streak down the middle of his back. I don't think Haney, listen, it's a shame
How's he
Haney
the better
is running.
fighter?
Everybody in the world want to see Haney and Tank, and Haney's doing everything.
He's trying to get the
including
Tank
hiding
fight.
his-
What are you
hiding
talking
his
about?
dad, not to fight Tank. But
That's
I tell
not-
you what,
hold
I
on,
think
Jim.
that talent-wise, I think Garcia got the better talent. I don't think Haney can hit like Tank. So I think that Garcia should be able to look well against Haney. It should be great, but I don't think
if
he'll
he
get
gets
the
off to a
decision.
fast start, okay. But if he gets
Will he get
behind,
the decision? I don't think.
I think, again, from what I see so far, like Clint Hurdle says you are who your baseball card says you are. He's a good front runner. To be honest with you, Mike Tyson was a hell of a front runner. But then if he got behind, what did he do? But real quick, Luther, May 18th. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I do.
You never
Fury
know if Fury's
and
faking
Usyk.
cuts. 1 minute it's on his right eye, and it's on his left eye. Who knows with this guy? I'm going
That's
for
the
Usyk.
That's why I'm wearing sunglasses.
What, you
'cause I
got
a
hit?
cut above my eye. It's calming in boxing, so I'm happy with
cut
18.
you, Jill?
When he was picking up he was the car girl, he hit his head on the turnbuckle. Okay, as always, we hope you enjoy our show as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities.